Hello, my name is Tyler Bailey. I am the Operations Manager for Destination Travel Network. The purpose of this little short video today is to just kind of overview what you can expect to find in Destination Travel Network's reporting portal. What you'll have access to is a real-time understanding of your ad campaign performance and all of the different placements that you have broken out. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the demo. Okay. The way we're going to go about this is I'm going to show you by tab here. We're going to go through each one of the tabs and we're going to review what's on each tab. Okay. For each tab that we go through, I'm going to go left to right, top to bottom, just like you would see in a book. Okay. So first thing here, when you log into the portal, and here again the URL is portal.destinationtravelnetwork.com. And when you go to that URL, you'll encounter a login screen. If you have SimpleView CRM Extranet and you have a login for their extranet, you can use those same credentials to log into the portal. If you are not sure what extranet or SimpleView CRM means, then you will have the option to set up your own account with your own specific email. Once you let us know that you are ready for access to the portal, then we'll go ahead and get you set up, and you'll be sent an email with instructions to set up your account. Okay, and we'll review that at the end again one more time. But with that said, when you log in, what you'll see here is your dashboard. And the first thing we'll see here is average impressions. That is average impressions for all of your ad placements, okay, by month, so average impressions per month, and that's an average of the last 12 months, okay. The next stat we see here is average clicks, and again, that's average clicks by month, and again, it's an average over the last 12 months, okay. So you're seeing the average number of clicks in every month, and then what that click-through rate is. If you're not familiar with click-through rate is actually a ratio of clicks to impressions, okay, and it's a percentage. What we identify as kind of the average click-through rate for display advertising throughout the entire internet, if you will, is roughly about a 0.1%. Okay, so you can kind of set that as your barometer for how you're performing relative to, just standard display advertising. Now next, what you'll see here is a quadrant that says delivery summary. And what this is going to show is performance by each one of the placements that you've purchased. Okay, so you can see this particular advertiser has a spotlight, a mobile banner, a header image, and they might have more than one header image. It's just grouped in here as header image. Featured listing, again, there might be more than one featured listing, but it's all wrapped up here in this featured listing number. We also have listing exposure as well as additional exposure, and we'll go through what each one of those means. As we go to the right here, now you're going to see views or impressions. Views is another word of saying impressions, another way of saying impressions. The first thing that we're going to see here is as of the current month that we're in. So the date that this webinar was recorded was the 6th of March. Okay, so as of the 6th of March, these are the total number of impressions seen or delivered for each one of these ad placements. Okay, so if it's closer to the beginning of the month, you're going to see less impressions. As we get towards the end of the month, or as we get closer to the end of the month, those numbers will go up accordingly, okay? And then what we see over here is the total number of impressions over the entirety of your relationship with DTN, okay? So whatever contracts, you might have had one contract, two contracts, multiple contracts, all of those different contracts for each one of those placements will be identified here in this total number. Moving over, now we're going to be looking at clicks. Again, that's the other metric that we track and record and send to you. But this is going to show you, again, similar to impressions, the number of clicks for the month that you're in as of that day. Okay, so you're going to see clicks and also click-through rate. Okay, and then similarly, as we jump over to this next column, we're going to see total clicks, again, for the entirety of the ad campaign, for all of the contracts, all the different placements, in total. You can see clicks and click-through rate as well. As we jump down here to the next quadrant, what we're going to see here is just another way of looking at impressions and clicks. What we'll see here in total views, again, this is not by month, this is actually for the entirety of your campaign. You can see how impressions have been distributed amongst all of the different placements. So in this particular case, the mobile banner accounts for about 60% of all impressions in total for this particular advertiser, which represents about 726,000 impressions. And you can see that number when you hover over each piece of the pie, okay? So you'll be able to see that corresponding number for each one of those placements, okay? Similarly, if we jump over to total clicks, we'll see where all of the clicks are coming from for each one of your placements, okay? So for featured listings here, that's generates the most clicks, okay? And that's about 54% of all clicks, and that represents about 5,200 clicks in total for this particular advertiser. One thing I will mention too is just keep in mind over here, we see mobile banner as the blue portion of the pie, but on clicks it's actually not the blue portion of the pie. It's actually green here. So I just wanted to make you aware of that, so when you're going in here, you're not losing sight of that. One thing before we go any further that I want to touch on, which is something that we are super proud and humbled to be able to do in a lot of ways, is provide what we like to call additional exposure. And so if you're participating in your ad campaign in any kind of run-of-site placement, whether that's a run-of-site banner, a run-of-category banner, or spotlight text links, those are all run-of-site positions that are typically sold by impression. Okay, so you might purchase X number of impressions, call it 10,000 impressions every month, 120,000 if you have a 12-month agreement over the entirety of the agreement. But a lot of times we have a little bit of extra exposure, okay, outside of what's been purchased that we're obligated to serve. So let's say we have 5 advertisers, okay, in the run-of-site banner who each purchase 10,000 impressions a month. Okay, but the run-of-site banner ad unit actually gets 100,000 impressions every month. Okay, so we've got 5 advertisers that each purchase 10K a month, which equals in total 50,000 impressions a month. But if you remember what I said, our inventory is actually about 100,000 impressions. So once we've served the obligated 50,000 impressions, we don't want you to just fall off, right? We have those extra impressions and we want to share those with you. So what happens is, once we've fulfilled all of those obligated impressions, we lump everybody together in a bucket, okay? So for everybody that's purchased a run-of-site banner, once everybody's fulfilled their obligated impressions, we throw everybody into a bucket and everybody will split the remaining impressions, the remaining unsold impressions, and that's what we call additional exposure. And so additional exposure is over and above what you're actually spending for your campaign. And additional exposure can mean a run-of-site banner or a spotlight text link. And if you have both of those, the additional exposure is wrapped up just in this one line item called additional exposure. Okay, so as we move down here to the next 2 quadrants, again, it's just a way of looking at the same information again, but aggregated. Okay, and so what we're seeing here is views or impressions over the last 12 months. So we can go here by month, hover over that bar, and see in May of 2016, this particular advertiser in total for all of their placements received about 147,000 impressions. And then if you jump down here, now you're going to see clicks over the last 12 months for each one of the same months. So in May of 2016, this particular advertiser recorded and received about 1,300 clicks for all of their ad placements as well. And then you can go through month by month and see how that breaks down for all of your ad placements. Again, this is an aggregate. These bar graphs are an aggregate of all ad placements. So that wraps up what you can see in the dashboard. Now we have a little bit more flexibility when we jump to the next 2 tabs. The first tab is the Statements tab. And if you think of the Statements tab as basically what you might see on a monthly basis from, say, your cable company or your cell phone, your mobile phone provider. Okay, we can see by month how our performance has been tracking. Okay, so for example, let's say we wanted to look at how did we do in December of last year. So we can go ahead and click on December, and you're going to see that same dashboard view for that particular month. Okay, so as of the end of December, what are total views, impressions, clicks, and click-through rate. And rather than go through all of the same dashboard again, we just went through this dashboard. It's all of the same information, just as of whatever date that you choose. Okay? And then here, the last tab is the Reports tab. And this is where we have a lot more flexibility. Okay? So when we click on the Reports tab, what we'll see here is this Delivery Detail report. So if you go ahead and click on Delivery Detail, now we don't get those fancy looking graphs, but what we do get is the flexibility to be able to choose any date range that we want. Okay, so let's say your contract runs a calendar year. Your contract with DTN is a full calendar year, and you want to look at, okay, well, what did all my placements do from a performance perspective for that year? So we can come in here, and actually this particular advertiser doesn't go back to January. So let's say you only wanted to look at it on a bi-yearly basis. We've already looked at it through January through May. Now we want to look at it June to December of 2016. So that's the last 6 months of 2016. Maybe that's what your contract terms covered, was June 16 to December 16. We make those date selections. We come in here and hit refresh. And now you're going to see by placement, impressions, clicks, and click-through rate for that particular time period. And again, you can come in here and select whatever date frame you want. Let's say you wanted to see last quarter of 2016. Select that, come in here, and now you'll see impressions, clicks, and click-through rate change in that way. Okay. So that pretty much wraps up all of the different tabs, all of the different options that you have in terms of viewing your performance by ad placement. And hopefully that was most helpful for you. If for some reason you have more questions, please let us know. You can contact either the account executive that sold your ad agreement. You could contact my operations team at dtnadmin@dtnads.com. That's dtnadmin@dtnads.com. And for any questions you might have, send an email to that email address, and we'll do our best to get those questions answered for you in a timely fashion. And last thing I'll touch on here is, before we hang up, is how you access the portal. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, we have portal.destinationtravelnetwork.com. Once you navigate to that page, you'll see a login screen. Once you go to that login screen, if you know that your DMO is a SimpleView CRM client, therefore you have access to the partner extranet. Okay, you can use that same login for the partner extranet here in Destination Travel Network's Advertiser portal. If you don't have the SimpleView partner extranet login and your DMO doesn't have SimpleView CRM, then what we'll do is we'll set up each one of your accounts individually. Okay, so you would let us know that you want access. We would go in, put your email, put your name, and then you would be sent a verification email, just like you would if you were signing up for something else on the internet, where you would go in, you would click on the setup user link, and you would go ahead and identify what the email address is and what you want your password to be. And then once you set that, you can again go to portal.destinationtravelnetwork.com and log in using those credentials. Again, my name is Tyler Bailey. I am the operations manager for Destination Travel Network. I hope this was most helpful for you. I know we're really excited about being able to provide a real-time reporting aspect to what we're doing for you. And we want to just, again, continually communicate the value of participating in your online program through your DMO website. Again, thank you for your time. We really appreciate your partnership, your continued support of the program, and we hope you have a great day. Thank you very much for being part of this. Take care.